Hi, welcome to this Godshot on compassion. And I'm filming it in front of my front door. And that's because compassion is the front door, the opening, okay, to all the goodness that we want and can do. That emotion of feeling something for somebody, being able to have empathy, not sympathy so much, but empathy, and being willing to just have your heart open towards them. And I'm a big fan of a performance artist. I am a performance artist. It's a weird collection of performances that gather uh, dramatic monologues, comedy, music, uh, photographic images, video, dance, movement. I probably forgot poetry, stories, all together, weaved together on a theme. And the person who first opened me up to that way of performing and those kinds of shows is Laurie Anderson. And years ago, she did a show about the effects of technology. And the whole show is painting a very dark, kind of bleak, stark picture of how cold our technological world is becoming. And this, to be honest with you, was like 20 years before the advent of cell phones and everything that just really, got us locked into technology. But she saw it coming, she saw it building, and it was already there. But she saw the effects. She said this is creating an ice cold way of life, and the whole night is this uh, is this experience of like ooh ooh, and she ends the show by sitting on the end of the edge of the stage, lights a candle, and starts telling us a true story from her life about how she had gotten injured and she had to go to a hospital emergency room. And in this emergency room was a woman whose feet were frostbitten, and she just kept saying in all her pain, she was in so much pain, and she kept saying, "My feet, my feet, my feet." And there was a man sitting next to her in the emergency room, and he turns to her and says, "That must really hurt." And that was the end of the show. And I was like, whoa. Here she was laying out. She painted this picture of the coldness of life today. And she was presenting in the last moments the remedy. The remedy is to be present to each other and be willing to feel each other's pain and let each other feel heard and to be there for one another. And that's compassion, okay? And she was saying compassion is the only hope we have in the face of this ice cold way of life that we're developing. The way compassion is awoken is by your own story, okay? Your own experiences. Not always doesn't need to be limited to just what you've experienced, but what you've experienced definitely motivates you to be having more compassion. Give you a couple examples. I used to deliver newspapers when I was a kid, and the papers would be delivered to an office, and we go pick them up every day, and they were wrapped in these bundles of wire. And one day I was loading up my bike with the newspapers, and a gorgeous, drop dead gorgeous girl, young woman, starts coming, is walking down the street. And I'm admiring her. Back then, mini skirts were the style, and she had long legs that went forever. And I was just a kid, like, wow, she is gorgeous. And then what happened? Her foot got caught in one of these wires, and she went crashing to the sidewalk, face down. And it just came like that. And her face was all bloodied. And I was like, oh my God, I was just admiring this beautiful person, and this horrible thing just happened to this girl. And ever since that day, if I see either a cord or a wire on the sidewalk or on the street, I will pick it up. I think if I would have collected them over the years, I'd probably fill up a whole closet, because I saw what happened and I wouldn't want someone else to suffer that way. So I will actually do something that other people label me weird for, but I don't care. Maybe I'm saving someone else from falling on their face. Another thing that awakens my compassion is my best friend, my Aunt Josie. She's in another one of these God shots. She was a little old lady next door, and the friendship of our family. She saved my life, okay, but we also were there for her, and she was a little bit all alone. I felt it was a blessing for us to have her next door. There was nobody else in that neighborhood that wanted anything to do with my family. We were 9 kids, and like everybody was like, "Get out of here." But she embraced us, and we embraced her, and being there for an older person was something that came natural to me, and I wanted to do. I knew she was making me happy and feeling loved, but I was also giving that to her. So I had that from when I was little. I remember when my brothers and sisters walking to school, and we would pass, a woman would be walking past us almost every single day. I don't know where she was going, but we were walking to school, and we passed her, and she always had a sad face on. So it became my mission to try and bring some happiness to her. And we would do all kinds of things like wave, like smile, like, I don't know, goofy things that we would do just to try and make her laugh. So that compassion for an older person, I definitely have. And it flows out of me naturally. Another thing, well, maybe the biggest one, is that I was a lonely kid. I didn't talk to nobody. I mean, here I am yapping through 80 God shots, and you're probably thinking, oh, God, he does 600 programs a year, whatever. He's all over the place. But I know what a miracle this all is, because I was a shy, quiet kid who didn't talk to nobody, but nobody ever reached out to me either. I sat alone in a school cafeteria for 4 years. Not one teacher, not one student, not one lunch lady. Well, thank God the lunch ladies didn't come by. They were mean. But nobody came over. And when you are caught up in the game of playing the invisible man, and nobody even acknowledges your existence, well, then you really are invisible. I know what that feels like. So any kid who's suffering social isolation, any person of any age that's sitting by themselves, I will go over and I will just reach out, and I won't, make a big deal out of it, but I naturally gravitate to somebody who might be alone in the world, because I know what that feels like. So let whatever your story is, your pain, your challenges, the goodness in your life as well, whatever it is that stimulates the heart, okay, spread that. Okay, that's the essence. It's not complicated. It comes naturally, but I wanted to honor the importance of it by giving it its own God shot. Okay? Go out there, love people, rock the planet. Keep shining. God bless.